Alright, Brakathiya Howell, Brakathiya Hawashai, Brakathiya Howell, Brakathiya Hawashai, Brakathiya Howell, Brakathiya Howell, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakal Kodash, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone True Well. Salutations to the hopeful elect out there, all you Akim to Sadakim that do this thing in the utmost truth and sincerity. So, okay, let me turn off my notifications. Okay. Alright. I'm the Priest Shaman. I'm going to entitle this one 5G is not harmful. Radio waves are not harmful. 5G scam, 5G scaremongering, something to that effect, because this is the current runaway um information, that's propaganda, that's fear mongering propaganda. It started with Russia Today. They were the first to release the article linking 5G to cancerous, and now apparently they're linking it to COVID-19. I'm going to prove that there's no correlation to that. This one is a complete scam, brothers. This is a complete money grab. This is a complete just use right now and attention of fear. And the scriptures speak about gross darkness, so they're pushing on a lot of fear. So I'm going to get into a few of the speculations that they have right now, and I'm just going to bring out factual information concerning radio waves, because this is what is powering the 5G. By the way, G just represents generation. This is the 5th generation broadband technology. That's all that means. The current 5G towers right now are still on the same broadband length as 4G towers and the current frequency as your modem in your house. And your modem in your house is not killing you. It's not doing anything to you because radio waves are relatively harmless. I pray a brother in the field, Mike, could bring out more information on this. Brothers could do their own research. But trust me, I'm 100,000,000% certain that radio waves are not harmful to you. The reason they have to install so much towers is because radio waves are extremely weak. This is just a pure fear mongering play, and I'm 100% certain of this one, man. So if you look at the 5G spectrum, they have 300 gigahertz right here, potentially, which is not currently going on at 300 gigahertz right here. The current standard of bandwidth max is about 5 gigahertz. They say they have the potential to theoretically go to 24 gigahertz frequency, and certain brothers are. Or not just brothers, so like I don't want to make it look like that. People in general are putting out information that 100 gigahertz could harm you and do all these types of stuff to you, and they're just not putting things in perspective. As you can see on this electromagnetic spectrum. By the way, before I continue, this is not new. They've been doing the same thing with 4G, 3G, and 2G, and I'm going to tell you why they do this. In fact, when radio towers were first being issued, people was cutting down those. And when they were first introducing electric street lamps, people were cutting down electric street lamps. They said that it's going to mess up time. You're not going to know what time it is. And Esau knows the history. He knows this play. It's an easy play. It's an easy money grab. It's an easy way to get a lot of fucking money off people's fear. So let's get into this lesson. But before I do, I'm going to get Revelations, the 3rd chapter and the 18th verse. By the way, I want to say that I'm not contrarian with any of the brothers. I know brothers did a lesson on the 5G. The apostles did lessons on the 5G, and I was going to wait to share this information privately. But the elders said just go ahead and bring it out because we don't know if Saturday is even promised. So I'm going to put this information out now. And so with that said, let me just get into the lesson. This is Revelations 3 and 18. It says, I counsel thee to buy of me gold tried in the fire, and that thou mayest be rich. So the gold being tried in the fire is, of course, the brothers, the hopeful elect, right? The ones that are doing this thing. And we're approaching we're in the time of the end. Things are just turning up left and left. 2020, as the Apostle Tahar coined it, the year of prophecy. So we're hoping to get through the trials and tribulation that is in the road ahead, right? And that's going to come with trial, right? Different things to test our patience and faith in this truth. But hopefully, if we get through, we're going to be that gold, silver or brass, that precious metal, Lord willing, man. It says, I counsel you to buy me gold tried in the fire, that thou mayest be rich. And this is the Lord speaking to, I believe, the church of, it says it's up, let me see if I can find out. I believe it's Laodicea. Yep, the Laodiceans, right, who are actually rich. They were actually rich. It was a very rich church. But the Lord is speaking about spiritual riches and spiritual gold in the form of the elect, Zechariah 13:8, 9, and 10. It says, "And white raiment that thou mayest be clothed." So the white represents righteousness. You read the same thing uttered in the book of Revelations and the book of Ezra. Being clothed with white garments. Garments really means to be righteous. The scriptures, there's many scriptures that say put on righteousness as a robe. It says that thou mayest be clothed, and that the shame of thy nakedness do not appear, and anoint thine eye with eye salve that thou mayest see. So we're living in a time where they're just gonna throw out a shit ton of darkness, and the way to filter through it is, of course, the scriptures. And if the reason I kind of figured when I first heard the 5G cancer stuff, this is way back. I mean, Michelle Greenspan, she brought it out way back, and I disregarded it because I did a bit of IT, right? But they teach you this stuff in school, the electromagnetic spectrum from a very young age. But I did a little bit of IT, so I was like, that's not theoretically possible that radio waves could go through a human and destroy them and all this type of stuff. But so we have the electromagnetic spectrum above, and right there you see 5G. They hope it could get to 300 gigahertz, right? Now above that you have infrared, and you have visible light, and you have UV light. And we're going to see that visible light, the light that you might turn on in your house, or better yet, I'm going to use the sunlight, is far more higher frequency, higher radiation. But the radiation from the sun is not bad for you, right? It's not bad for you. On a hot summer day, your body gets hot because of the radiation being emitted by the sun, but your body is then producing vitamin D from it, right? So just because they have that word radiation, it's a trigger. It's a trigger. That's what they're using it for. They've been using that since the 60s with the nuclear war that they had. And Esau knows this. He's deceptive. He's very deceptive. I'm going to get Genesis, the 3rd chapter, before I go to some of these pictures right here to prove the point. So the next picture I want to go to is, Salakia. Let me go to the next picture here. The one I want to go to is right here to put things in relative perspective. So that radio TV spectrum, and you see the frequency there in hertz, right, is about 10 to the 2nd power to 10 to the 9th power, right? So 5G is not going to go above that. And if you look up above, you have visible light. This is the light that I'm seeing right now on a sunny day or a day. It's about 10 to the 15 visible light, 10 to the 15 hertz, right? When you convert that to gigahertz, right, you have visible light on a hot summer day. The sun is emitting about 1 million gigahertz of frequency. Now, put that in perspective to what they're saying that 100 gigahertz is harmful. 1 million. And you can weaponize radio waves, you can weaponize light waves, you can weaponize microwaves, but that is not cheap, and it takes an immense amount of energy to do so, brothers. Let's go ahead and prove that. So let's look at the current radio wave technology that they use. Is called active denial system, right? So they're using radio waves in a directional path. By the way, the towers are omnidirectional, meaning they're spreading out frequency in all directions. Just like the sun. If the sun could harm you, right? The rays from the sun and the radiation from the sun could harm you if you could concentrate it in one specific area by using like a magnifying glass, right? But you don't walk around with a magnifying glass above your head. The same thing with water pressure. Water pressure could cut through steel, but you have to concentrate it with an immense amount of energy to have it cut through steel. Normally, water is harmless, right? But it could, if you get sprayed with a hard enough pressure water hose, it could cut right through you. So it's the same principle being applied here with radio waves. All right, so the radio wave technology that you see above costs roughly about $60 million. The cost of it is about $60 million. And why is it $60 million? Because it's very expensive and very hard to weaponize radio waves, right? Remember, we just saw the frequency chart. Now let's look at light waves, right? It costs about $40 million to make a laser. It's a lot cheaper. A laser system is about $40 million because the frequency of light, and this is probably a lot cheaper now. This technology is very old. The frequency of light is very it's just way higher. It's way higher than that of radio waves. In World War II, Japan tried to weaponize radio waves, and the most they got out of it was killing a rat. And it took about 10 minutes to do it, and they had to entrap the rat and not make it move. You know what I mean? It's like what else? Okay, so they did a cellular test, right? They did a cellular test to test if this thing is cancerous, if cellular waves are cancerous. And what they did was they had a rat, and they was blasting it with cellular radiation from it was in its womb to its adulthood, and nothing happened to it because most of the radio waves get lost in the air. It's a very, very weak wave. You know, the frequency is not that dangerous as Esau is making it seem. So let's look at UV light. I'm going to read a quick snippet from this page right here, controlling ultraviolet light. Ultraviolet light is what those people do when they take a tan, right? So it says ultralight radiation lies between visible light and X-ray along the electromagnetic spectrum. UV light spans a range of wavelengths between 10 and 400 nanometers. The wavelength of violet light is around 400 nanometers, or 400 or 4,000. I don't know the denomination of that degree. Ultraviolet radiation oscillate at rates between 800 terahertz. That's terahertz, or 10 to the 12 hertz, and 30,000 terahertz. So that's just UV light, right? So let's put that in perspective. 1 terahertz is 1,000 gigahertz. 1 terahertz is 1,000 gigahertz. And 5G is nowhere close to 1,000 gigahertz frequency. Not even in their wildest dreams. I mean, that's some next level broadband speed. Theoretically speaking, they're not even at 24 gigahertz yet, but they would like to, you know. That's why they're putting up so much of these towers, because it's so the wave is so fucking weak, you know. It's not harmful. When you turn your radio off, I turned off my car right now, I'm still getting hit with radio waves, you know. And they were cutting out radio towers for a very long time. And then I seen that article concerning the bird dying from 5G towers, thousands of birds dying from 5G towers. When you look that article up, and not the video or some guy just putting some shit on the internet, that was two separate correlations. If this thing can penetrate and kill birds, and that tree that they were posting is something called a half-life tree. It's not unnatural for a tree to have one side being grown and the other side not being grown. You know, so I mean, they throwing everything. You know, they throwing everything that they hope could stick. But I'm gonna show you exactly why it will benefit somebody to push this fear, and they've been doing it for a long time. And I'm gonna show you what the profit is. So this is Genesis 3:1. Now the serpent is Esau. All right, the Edomites, or the so-called white race today, was more subtle than any beast of the field. That consists of all nations. You know, all the other nations, including even Israelites today could be considered beasts. The Apostle Paul called wicked ass niggas brute beasts. So this devil is very wise. He's very cunning. He's serpentile, and it's not talking about an actual snake, by the way. It says, now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai had made. And he said unto the woman, yea, ye hath the Most High said, ye shall not eat of the tree of the garden. I'm gonna jump down to a point, because the point right here is and I want to make is in verse 4, where the serpent says, Genesis 1:3-4, and the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die. And the brother made an excellent point about this. The devil knew the truth. He knew the truth and lied to the woman. He knew that you was gonna die if you did the situation, but he lied to him. So he's deceptive, he's cunning, and he'll use lies to deceive you. Now, why would they push this fear thing, right? Why would they push this fear thing, right? Well, let's look at this. This video right here, I'm not going to play it. It's just a snippet. It's actually a screenshot. And this video was published in 2016. 2016, when it was pushing the fear of 4G technology, the fourth generation, that or a little bit around that time, because they've been pushing the fear mongering all the way back to 2G. I should have screenshot those articles. And as you know now, 2G doesn't do anything. You know what I mean? I guess if you wrap 100 cell phones and tape it around your body and sleep with it, and then maybe something will happen in 10, 20 years. But I mean, even then, your phone doesn't maintain that high watt yield to push out that much radiation. Um, it says EMF paint shield HSF54 or Warmore RFIE for shielding a bedroom from cell phone tower radiation. That's the scheme. That's the scheme. You see how it has 2.6 thousand likes and 286,000 dislikes? Those 2,000 or 3,000 likes are people that are afraid of radio waves. You could bet you could get so much money off this thing, and I'm gonna prove this. Check this out. This is a 5G protection hat. This hat is gonna protect you from 5G. Look at the price. It's $60, not including tax and shipping, right? So you're looking at a $60 hat. The hat is just a regular hat. It's just a regular hat, but in your mind you think you're being protected from radio waves. Let's continue. Here's a beanie, a regular beanie, right? Let's read it. EMF proof beanie. Our wave stopper technology is now available in a beanie to protect your head from wireless radiation. All caps. By the way, that radiation hat is $49. A $49 beanie hat. Let's continue on. RFID wallet. You're going to protect yourself. It's $89 to protect yourself from radio. Look, RFID wallet is no different than putting your bank information in a tinfoil. It's not going to do it's not going to make any difference. But you're afraid that you're going to lose your information, correct? Let's go on. Where's the one with the... I don't have it here. I must have not screenshot it. But they even selling shorts and pants that will protect you from radio frequency. I believe the shorts was $74. So let me pause this picture real quick before I bring out that next point. So let's think about this, right? Let's think about this. If Esau knows that 5G could cause cancer, if that was true, if that was theoretically true, if it could cause cancer and it could kill you and all this type of stuff, and they've been saying that for years, why would AT&T, Verizon, all these people are smart people, why would they invest in this thing if it could cause cancer and face billions of dollars in lawsuit? There's yet to be any lawsuits about 2G causing cancer, 3G causing cancer, 4G causing cancer, 4G LTE causing cancer. I'm 100% sure they're not going to have 5G cause cancer, because why would you invest $2 trillion in infrastructure to create these towers to get hit with lawsuits? There's no money in that play. There's absolutely nothing to gain in that play. They could already kill you through food. They already have heart attack guns. There's such easier and cheaper, more effective ways to kill the masses than this tower 5G situation. But there's a big money play in the fear. That's what I'm learning so much is just how much money you can make from fear. I've made an undisclosed amount through this whole recession situation that me and other brothers have of just people's fear. And I think to myself, like, man, if I had the money that they had, this one dude, William Aikman, right? He turned 26 million into $2.6 billion when he went on the news and told people that coronavirus is going to kill your kids and kill his grandfather, and the stock market is going to go to zero. People are afraid. When people are afraid, you can play on their emotions. And Esau's doing the same thing now with the next 5G pandemic and saying that it could cause the coronavirus and all this type of stuff. It's not new. The only difference is now that you have social media and anybody could get in front of a camera and they're a scientist now, This is what I want to show, brothers. The G just represents generation, right? It just means generation. I don't have a picture of it, but trust me, in Japan right now, they got 7G toilets. It's no different than the PS1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's just the generation. It doesn't mean anything more than that, And this is in 2019, introducing 10G, the next great leap for broadband. So I'm going to go ahead and read this. Global cable industry plans massive advancement in network capability and speed with platform that will keep ahead of consumer demand and innovation curve. This was back in January 7th of 2019. It says, the Internet and Television Association, Cable Labs, and Cable Europe introduced the cable industry vision of delivering 10 gigabyte networks, or 10G trademark, a powerful, capable, efficient technology platform that will ramp up from the 1 gigabyte offerings of today to the speeds of 10 gigabytes per second and beyond. So It's not harmful. It's been in South Korea for years. 5G is not new in South Korea. 4 million, over 4 million people are using it right now in South Korea. Nobody's dying from it. It's a fair play. I'm 100% certain on this one. There's nothing to gain um off creating something that will just generate lawsuits, but there is a shit ton of money to be made in the fear of fear of people. And I just wanted to put this lesson together because I didn't want any brother getting scared and start going around buying 5G hats, or 5G boxes and shit that they selling right now, and get 5G paint to protect yourself. It's a fear play, 100% sure on it. If there's any other brother in this field that deal with radio technology, you could bring out this information, Bubba Kashaw. And I hope that was insightful. I hope that was helpful. I hope I'm not missing anything. In closing, what I'm going to do on the bottom is I'm going to play this YouTube video that RT put together, right? You watch it and you make your own assessment. The title is Conspiracy Theorists Claim 5G to Blame for Coronavirus. Meanwhile, they're the same ones that issued that statement. Vladimir Putin, when he issued that statement in RT America that 5G was cancerous, Russia amped up 5G production because they're behind. They're behind. Wuhan, China was going to unveil 5G along with Iran and Italy, and what that would do was leap Europe in the world reserve currency. Right now, the dollar is number one in world reserve currency. Number two is followed by the euro, and number three is followed by the yuan, the Chinese currency. The United States is going to stop at any and every. They're going to give up. They're not going to let the Japan becomes the world reserve currency, because whoever is the world reserve currency, whoever has the world reserve currency has the next pretty much empire. That's not going to happen, by the way. This thing is going to end with these Edomites. That's why the United States went into Afghanistan. It was not to fight bin Laden. It wasn't because of the trade centers falling. It was to stop China from bringing pipelines through Afghanistan. You destabilize the region. Investors want to invest in that region, and now China can't have that play. They don't have to go to Africa because China has enormous amount of people, but they lack two resources: oil and water. And the thing about oil is, if you don't have it, you don't have it. You can't make the world produce it. So if you're in a strategic land that produces it, you have an advantage. So the U.S. is now saying that China's 5G is starting. China's 5G is starting coronavirus and all that stuff. But I'll give you an example of how they play that. When Hong Kong protest was happening, you have not everybody in Hong Kong is with Hong Kong. Everybody in China is with China. You have CIA assets in China and Hong Kong. When RT was interviewing people doing the Hong Kong protests, they spoke perfect English, and when questioned as to what they're protesting, some of them didn't have the answers. There was when they had U.S. flags. That's so Hong Kong won't reunite back with China, because by 2047, they're supposed to get back with China. So there's a lot of geopolitical plays being played here, and let's watch this video. You can see that it's clear propaganda. It's just playing on people's fear, and I'm gonna close out with that. By the way, that woman that was eating the bat, that was not in Wuhan, China. You could strengthen your immune system from being in sunlight right now. And instead they're telling you to stay inside to protect your immune system. Complete backwards information. Any brothers into the health, they could bring that information out too. Again, if you're more knowledgeable in what I'm bringing out, then please, by all means, help support the information, because I know for a certainty radio waves don't even come close to the sunlight that we deal with every day. Not even anywhere close to it. And it's not going to penetrate your skin, none of that stuff. What if a common cold virus becomes lethal with weakened people due to the The 5G radiation exposure, 24/7 attacking the immune system. Again, no facts, nothing. Just somebody on the internet posting that theory, throwing it out there in people's fear. People in the United Kingdom lost their shit. And then it started to go viral from there, and it's spreading like wildfire. So again, they're targeting China, Italy, and Iran because they were partnered to unrelease this 5G. This 5G thing is gonna happen. It's what's gonna power this RFID chip, which we're not gonna take. That's the mark of the beast. For anybody watching, do not take that pursuant to the Book of Revelations. But in order, it's not just to buy and sell what they want to do with it. They want to use 5G for autonomous vehicles. Talking to your car, smart cities, smart houses. Immerse yourself into VR technology when you're watching a game. They're working on something called a smart city. So pretty much whoever has the advantage on this 5G technology is going to make a shit ton of money, shit ton of bank. And if it was cancer causing, nobody would touch it. Nobody with smart money would touch it. Scientists say there's no evidence to back any of that up. So this is a funny play right here, because you're already approaching it with a conspiracy mindset. So you're thinking counterintuitive to the truth. So you're thinking, so man, scientists say there's no evidence. That's bullshit, And they know that. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like reverse psychology. In other words, there's sometimes when the U.S. news media will bring out certain truth, but they bring out so much lies that you just discount everything that they say. You know what I mean? So it's that kind of play. How many times we've seen scientists saying it's bullshit? When certain times the scientists are accurate on it. It's not every single time, but you're so used to scientists spewing out bullshit that you're just gonna easily disregard this information right here. That there literally is no evidence that 5G caused coronavirus or that radio waves are harmful. There's no evidence behind it, brothers. Yep, stop 5G UK. It's spreader than the UK. And don't be surprised if the people that started it are actually agents themselves. That's not out of the realm of possibility. Just like how agents fueled the Hong Kong protest. That's enough of that. Like I said, brothers, it's a fear, money, power play. Radio waves are not going to kill you. They're not harmful like that as this man seems. You can weaponize any type of wave. You can weaponize water waves. With an immense amount of pressure, you can weaponize water waves, and with an immense amount of energy and money needed to weaponize radio waves is just pointless. You know what I mean? Like you saw. Just to weaponize it and not even make it lethal costs about $60 million because radio waves are extremely weak. I hope brothers were edified. You could go ahead and do your own research. You could fact check. You could check it out yourself. But in a time like this where there's just anything, you link COVID-19 next to it, and it's like a trigger. It's like a trigger, and I'm pretty sure if this shit goes far enough, they will tell you need this 5G hat or this 5G thing because of this type of threat or that type of threat. And the ones that have the information and know that it's harmless, they're going to make a shit ton of money. They've been doing it before 5G, and I think they plan to continue doing it now. So I'm just trying to give brothers a heads up before they go ahead and spend money on this shit right here, I'm going to give all the praises to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Barakodash. I hope I kept it all informational. Brothers are more than more. I encourage you to try to look into everything I said, and you're just gonna find the truth for yourself. And again, I was gonna wait till Saturday. I'm not trying to do this to be contrarian to my apostles and elders at all, or any of the brothers. But the elders just said, go ahead and just bring out the information and just have brothers do their own research, and that's what I hope to do, and that's what I hope to accomplish. And that's it, man. I hope brothers are edified. So with that, I'm gonna give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem Yahushai, Ba'Hashem Rekakodash, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, true well, and salutations to the hopeful elect out there. Shalom.